Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cavecast. I am your host, Kyle, and as always, I am joined by Baby Yoda. Today, we're going to be talking about some freaky space encounters that astronauts have talked about. But before we get into that, I want you to know that this is the Cavecast, and this is where nerds of all fandom are welcome. No matter what you nerd out about, no matter what you enjoy, we want you to know this is a safe space for everybody to be able to come in and just enjoy and be the fly on the wall for the conversations that happen down here. So if you've enjoyed the last episode and eventually this one, so go ahead, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe, hit that like, and share this with all your friends and let them know that we're talking in a man cave and we're just having conversations. And that's just what's happening down here.
Yeah, hit the fucking like button, dude.
Yeah, aggressive already. Just
Why
angry.
are we gonna say it?
Just
everybody knows.
Actually, you know what's funny with me being on YouTube for as long as I have, I didn't really even start liking videos on a consistent basis until like the last year.
Me too.
That's because I realized how much it really actually affects channels. So
I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I thought they were just like how many like whatever, but no, it's like so yeah, I didn't YouTube correctly.
Yeah.
So my bad, everybody.
Actually, this is kind of worth mentioning. I might make a clip out of this to start us off. We're going to get into scary space stories. Don't worry. This thing is not going to take over the whole podcast, but I didn't get to talk to you about this yet. Onision, who is a, YouTube, star on this platform. And I've told you a lot about the scandals and stuff that has been around his career and his personal relationships and everything. I keep hitting that. All the stuff that's been happening around that. But he actually got all of his platforms on YouTube are demonetized.
Really?
100%. He got an email basically saying that your personal life is concerning to us now that the TV show has been made about you that Chris Hansen made. So he's like, they were like, we're just going to no longer support you and give you money. You can upload if you want, but we're not going to give you money.
So he's just got his money that he's made so far, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure unless he blew it all, I'm sure he's got it. But
with him, I don't know, because obviously he's been able to keep going even amongst all of the, horrible allegations and everything that's been going on. So clearly he has some kind of income. Maybe he's actually responsible with his money and he that's what I mean. Saves it.
He might be.
But in the same hand too, I mean, he has an OnlyFans, which I'm not promoting, but it's interesting to say the least. So maybe he'll be able to keep going. I don't know, but that was something that I just realized I didn't get to talk to you about. That was like a thing that actually happened. Like YouTube finally stepped up and they were like, all right, we're done. Like, just you need to quit that shit, essentially.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, how long have I been talking about this Onision guy? Like, at least with
about a year.
Yeah, yeah. It's been like a thing where it's like, that's been the hot like gossip on YouTube, and the fact that it finally went somewhere. There's a bunch of drama that's gone on with Chris Hansen and like all that stuff. Like I'm finding out that I'm not liking him as much as I used to. Which is the weird thing is I still love watching Hansen versus Predator, like watching the old school episodes, dude. I'll cycle through those while like I'm doing dishes and stuff, dude. I love it. I love those old episodes because I remember being a kid and not really understanding what was going on.
What it was.
But I knew that these guys meant these kids harm or meant them or wanted to do something that they weren't supposed to. And I just remember walking in and I remember looking at Mom and I'm like, Mom, like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, why are these guys hiding their faces? And she's like, they're very bad men. And like, this is what they're doing, yada, yada. And I was like, okay. So, I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like, it's a really weird, like nostalgic thing for me. Like, I remember being, on the house up on the hill and like seeing that and like, actually even the house before then too.
Probably.
I remember vague things. So, but if
probably
gives you any perspective on how long Hansen's been doing his thing, like
really long time, man. Like, I mean, I was borderline like a teenager when I remember it starting. So like, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Cause it was even the house that, our stories are based on. That's the one that we're referring to, which I'll put those in the corner, but, yeah, it's just weird. Like I sometimes I forget how young we really were when we were living in that house. Like just the timing and just like everything that's like, comes down to that. Cause it was just wild.
You don't realize like how much time has passed or what you've been doing for so long, and it catches up.
Corona.
But it catches up with you.
Yeah, it's
you kind of figure out, you're like, oh man, it's been 25 years.
Actually, you know what's funny was I actually ran into our cousin Shane. This is a while ago. And him and his dad were actually working on that house, and
he bought it.
Yeah, because
he bought it like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and
I guess his sister Crystal like lived in it for a long. I think she might still, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. This was. I think I was fresh out of high school, which I mean he was too. So, but I mean it was.
He's got a couple places, but good for him.
Yeah, we always joke that he was the guy that saved every penny while everybody else, when they were 4 or 5, spent it on candy and got fat. Like that's what the main joke was, So, but he's doing very well for himself. But
absolutely.
No. So all that being said, space. Yes. No. So this isn't the website I found earlier, because I kind of skimmed through some of these, but I figured we'll go ahead and just go with this. The information seems to be very, very similar to the other stories that I've seen. Maybe it's not the same people, but right. But regardless, so this is indiatimes.com. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that in the description below. That way you guys can find it. And this just says 11 unsettling confessions from astronauts about things they saw in space that are legit creepy. So I guess
weird.
I guess the way that I view this is astronauts go into space with the idea that there's just nothing around them. So it's a very, very different feeling of being on Earth and you're home and you hear a bump in the night and you hear this. Like, it's a very, very different territory. So I guess my question for you to start this off is, when, because you and I have talked about our paranormal experiences or times that we thought something was happening and it wasn't it, or there's been all those different things. If you were in space, do you think you would ever think about paranormal activity? Is that something that would even cross your mind?
No, because if something's there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has to be. Mm-hmm. Paranormal to me is, I feel like, so this is where I get maybe a little more indifferent with it. I go back and forth with my do I believe in aliens and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So
right.
I also feel like if you're that far into space, I know it sounds like kind of that cliche, but you're already that close to God. What spirit's going to travel with you or want to fuck with you out there?
That's interesting. Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, but to me, with aliens and stuff, I go back and forth. I have a very kind of almost sometimes black and white opinion on it, but then sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And so if I heard something while I'm in space, all right, well, E.T., let's go, dude. Are we going to fight or are we going to be cool?
Yeah.
Because I'm fighting.
Right.
I'll fight. I mean, I may be turned into dust like that, but I'll at least try.
I think that whenever I think of aliens, I don't think of little green men. I think what more comes to my mind is the movie Life with Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, and it has a couple of other people in it. It was basically
Ryan Reynolds dies. Spoiler alert!
He's not, everybody. He's not in the movie long, unfortunately. Spoilers for Life. I'm gonna have to put that in the fucking description.
No, leave it.
No, because there's
gonna be. If you ain't seen that movie by now, it's 4 years old. You ain't watching it.
Actually, what was funny was that when I was telling my wife that I wanted to watch that movie, she's like, it looks like Ryan Reynolds dies, and the sad part is that in the trailer you see
him die.
You see the creature crawl into his mouth and he's trying to stop it, and it cuts to black before anything happens, which, by the way, it's an awesome scene.
It is a good scene.
It's a really awesome scene.
I kind of feel like that's one of that's kind of it though. I don't really remember that movie being all that great.
It was okay. That's a movie that should have been astounding, and it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So that's I don't know. That's our opinion, but I mean there could be people that love it. I don't know.
One.
And this is where we're going to have an entire episode on opinions. And it's going to be awesome. So
Opinions.
that could be like 16 parts. Like it's ridiculous.
It'll just never stop.
Yeah.
We're still doing it right now. It's pre like.
Oh, hey, Troy Baker is live and it's officially 9:40 p.m. So that's cool. So just if anybody is interested, Troy Baker sometimes goes live on his Instagram page.
Yeah, but they're not going to see this until a week from now.
What I'm saying is turn the notifications on because his lives are fucking awesome.
Oh.
So it's
I thought you were like, hey man, he's live right now.
Yeah,
check him out.
Totally. As we're not live streaming.
Not live. Yeah. I was like, bro, I don't think that works that way.
Okay. So number 1, this says space snake. First time I'm reading these, we're going to experience these together. Retired NASA astronaut Dr. Story Musgrave has a lot to his credit, so it will be difficult to pass this off as a lie, but he claims that he saw an 8-foot-long white snake floating through space. It's not hard to imagine that this could have been a hose detached from the spaceship, but Musgrave remains adamant. He saw a space snake.
Okay. To me, I'm gonna say probably hose. Only, okay. I know.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, no, I know.
Way,
yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, as far as like, I'm gonna probably go with hose, only because what the fuck would a snake be like? Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe like really if that's what our aliens were, I'd be like, okay.
Well, clearly they're very, very interested in us. So it's like,
yeah. I'm like, this is what you gave us? Like, wow. But no, that's very interesting. Now, I mean, obviously, it could actually have been some kind of weird space snake. I just think, no, they're absolutely right. That's, in a sense, like, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Now, if he would have said, like, a humpback whale, that would have been different.
Right.
or like...
I think I would liken this to how one of my friends that watched this, which I don't know if he wants me to share his name as far as like the experience, but basically we've talked about the friend of mine that when he was a kid in his bedroom, he would wake up with night terrors. And when his mom would come in, she would say, "What's wrong?" And what he responded with was, "The bad monkeys won't leave me alone." So in his mind, that was the only thing that he could use to describe what he saw, was that he was a kid. There were these things jumping around in his room that were screeching and howling at him and doing all this stuff. But so like they weren't monkeys, but that was all he could think of in his mind, was that the bad monkeys won't leave me alone.
What I mean is the fact of the shape. I was being funny in humpback whale, but I mean, like, that's not just a tube that could have come off of like the ship. Right. To where that's what I meant. Like if he would have said something like, it looked like a unicorn. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, no, that's not a hose.
Right.
So yeah, a snake is very much
sorry, my text notifications are on. Got the light going.
Oh, very much an acceptable, like,
for those on Spotify, that's what just happened right now. So I was flipping my phone.
The Hearies.
On the Hearies.
The Hearies get announced again.
Yes, so... Hearies,
not the YouTubies.
Hearies, we love you, and the Viewies and YouTubies, because there are two different ones. I think YouTubies is when you evolve from a Viewee.
Yes.
It's the next evolution. We'll find one above that. It might be the Vimeo-y, if we ever go to Vimeo.
maybe they are. Maybe it's our Patreons that are the YouTubies.
Could be. Or would they be the Patronazi?
That sounds like Nazis. Patronazi.
The Patronosies. So the nosies. You become a nosy. Become a nosy today. Become a patron supporter.
Nosy.
The nosy. The patronosy. So we have the Hearies, the Viewies, the YouTubies, the nosies.
But then what are the YouTubies?
The YouTubies are those that are dedicated YouTubers, but they're not quite to a nosy yet.
Then what's a Viewee?
A Viewee is somebody that just casually uses YouTube like mom. She doesn't like.
Do you hear that, Mom? That's why I'm wearing obviously I'm Mom's favorite shirt. You know what? We'll have to share that photo.
Yeah. It'll be cool. We might make that might be a Patreon exclusive. You never know.
You're gonna have to learn real quick. I'm the favorite.
Mom may have told you, but she told me too, and I know for a fact she's told Devin. So I think what we need to understand is that we are all.
But she told me on Jesus' birthday. So fuck both of you.
Oh man, what were we talking about? Space snakes. So
space snakes.
So no, but the point,
space snakes.
The point that I was making was that it's like, you know, for space snakes.
The point you were making
is that so hold on, is that loud enough? There we go.
Way better.
Hold on. What sound effects do we have on here again? Oh, that's cool.
How the fuck?
All right.
Do you never remember? It's yours. I remember it. It's not even mine.
It's just so daunting. There's so many dials and so many things.
Right. There's so many things to push and touch and
all that stuff.
Colors.
It's I can't handle it, man. It's just horrible. What if I'm gonna lose it? That's not the right one.
See?
There it is.
Give me the goddamn board.
I can't. It's all attached and shit. But
I'm taking it over.
So okay.
It's an ongoing thing that just hasn't happened. All right, no.
I'm happy to give it to you. I just set it up. So,
all right, space snakes.
All right, so there's supposedly space snakes. Now, I am also in the
weird tangent that just went off on that.
I'm in the weird demographic of people of this that would basically say, okay, what if it is not a snake? It is alien life, but this is a new form of life that we can't understand that would appear as a snake, but it is not.
Okay, well, either way, I could still whoop its ass. It has no opposable thumbs or fists.
Wow. You have so much confidence going into a place you've never been before.
I'm just saying, unless it has like a really wicked bite or something, like I don't know.
He didn't say it had a mouth, but if this is where we can get deep and be like, well, he said it was a snake, so obviously it must have been chomping, but that's not been discussed.
I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
A snake, it clearly has no way of like kicking your ass
besides like a boa constrictor wrapping you up and crushing your
don't
insides.
Get that close to it.
You heard it, guys. If you want to just stop a snake, just don't get that close to it.
Correct.
Get away from it. That'll fix everything.
That's when you cut the
Don't
head
do
off
that. It's a horrible piece of advice.
It's not. Guys, if you find yourself with a space snake situation, look, you can kick its ass. It has no opposable thumbs or fists. You have both. You can kick its ass.
What did he do? He punched the space snake in the face, just
repeatedly. Just don't get close enough to get wrapped up in its nonsense.
Get back in the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Speaking of vacuum of space, this one is called Knock Knock.
Okay.
First off, there's no sound in space. There's only a vacuum. And this is precisely what makes this story a strange one.
I don't know if I like that.
Back in 2003, astronaut Yang Liwei, the first to be sent into space by the Chinese space program, was sitting in his space shuttle when he reportedly heard a knock. He described it as someone knocking the body of the spaceship just as knocking on an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. This is very interesting grammar they've got going on here, but it says apparently he's not the only one to have experienced this. There was another Chinese astronaut, and actually multiple Chinese astronauts between 2005 and 2008 who have reported hearing similar sounds. So knocking on spaceships.
How long were they out there?
That I don't know. It just says that he was out there. He was the very first Chinese person that was ever sent out into space. That he was in their space program and he experienced.
I just want to say, as far as I'm not trying to like necessarily debunk anything, but there is such a thing as like, you know, what do they call that? Like, not space anxiety, but like it's kind of
lunar madness.
Lunar madness, yes.
Yeah, well, it's because it's what in Armageddon when Steve Buscemi's character, when he had the machine gun and was going nuts or whatever, and he was just like, well, like whatever, I just want to fucking blow.
Well, he's like, I just want to have some fun before I die. Like he was set on dying.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, if you're out there for a while, like you can get stir crazy and stuff. So I mean, hearing things doesn't necessarily shock me. When there is no sound, your brain automatically is like, dude, something has to be a sound.
I think that I would say it like this, and this is probably one of the ways that would make this applicable for anybody that doesn't really understand how scary that would be. And what I mean by that is where we lived before this house was in an apartment complex, much like how many people start, is that you start with an apartment and you build from there. When you live in an apartment for so long, you get used to people living around you, and some people are louder than others. Some people you don't hear at all. Some people you hear cough whenever they, choke on their rice, or like you hear people that shower because they sing when they're in the shower. There's all these sounds that become so second nature. And this is what was really weird about moving into this house after that.
It stopped.
It didn't. For the first night.
Interesting.
I remember because what it was that Christy had to work the next morning, so she went ahead and just went to bed. Like, now we were both up super late because we had brought all the boxes in. We had a bunch of people help us move. Like, we were like, oh my God, thank you guys so much. Like, this was crazy. And I think she slept 3 hours that night. She went to bed at like 3 a.m. because we were trying to get everything done. And she woke up, I think, at like 6 or 7 to go to work. And I was up.
Fuck that. I would have called off. Been like, I'm not working tomorrow, bitches.
Yeah. But
moving? Nah.
Slap around a little bit. Yeah. No, but which is great because it was with a previous employer. It's awesome. But no, but essentially, basically what ended up happening was that I was out in the living room, and it was very, very different compared to what it was now, like how things have changed and how we've set it.
Yeah.
Up. It's just crazy how that it's all worked out. But I remember putting stuff away, and I kind of started to hear small little noises here and there. And maybe there would be like a low rumble, or there would be this, or there would be that. And my first thought was, and I'm going to change the name of my neighbor, but for my first thought was, oh, it's Jackie. No big deal. And I went over back to the sink and was finishing what I was doing and was, putting some more stuff away. And about 2-3 minutes later, it hit me. I'm like, I'm not at the apartments.
Yeah.
What the hell was that noise?
Yeah. What was that?
So, I mean, now things like obviously the furnace kicking on, that was one thing, like how some of the floorboards upstairs do that and stuff. So like it was small things like that. I had this mentality of that I'm used to noise around me. And when you're in space, that noise can't travel. And when there is a noise that you can't find out, like I would actually be more worried that the ship is malfunctioning that we're in. Like that's right. Where mine would go. Like, it's like, what the hell is that noise?
Not something trying to like get in or like get to you.
Right. Now, let me say this is that there are plenty of creepypastas and terrifying imagery of space of like, aliens, like, trying to get in through the glass and like looking inside and trying to see stuff. So it's like, that probably would like come to my mind eventually. But my first knee jerk reaction with that happening would be, we have a problem. Like we need to fix it.
Houston.
So yeah, right. Houston, we have a problem. Why don't you ever just call and say hi anymore? Like
Houston. Yeah. Houston. Yes. Do we have aliens on the ship? No. Okay. So malfunction. Okay. Yes. So death still. Okay. Gotcha. Just checking. Like that's how that would probably go.
Oh man. Yeah. So it was just, it was a very interesting thing.
See, we all die in space, Kyle.
Everyone dies in space. The vacuum of space.
I'm okay with it.
It is the Earth's doom. Much like how Adam Driver said, it is the Earth's milk. Oh man, I love that. Just like the man H.R. Pickens. He tried to disgrace me. He did not succeed. Who is H.R. Pickens? Exactly. So, all right. Little comic relief for you before we go into this next one.
Oh, is it bad?
Number 3. They're on the moon watching us.
I think I may have heard this one.
I don't know. So maybe I have, but this says when astronaut Neil Armstrong took a walk on the moon and became the first man to do so, what followed was an onslaught on conspiracy theories. For one, his historic stroll on the moon is claimed to have been shot in studio. Of many conspiracy theories surrounding this moment, there's one that remains a mystery to the date. During the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, after Armstrong landed on the moon, NASA claims to have lost transmission for roughly 2 minutes. And in reportedly a secret message to NASA, he said, "These babies were huge, sir, enormous. Oh, God, you wouldn't believe it. I'm telling you, there were other spacecrafts out there, lined up on the far side of the craters of the edge. They're on the moon watching us." Now, that is a true historical fact. They did, in fact, lose contact with that Apollo for 2 minutes. So, but that's the thing. You don't know.
Has he? Did they say he admitted to that?
No, what they're saying is that with some of the original transcripts that have been found or whatever that were accessed, that supposedly that's what they said.
Then put him on YouTube, dude. Let's hear him.
See, this is where
do you ever see that?
This is where it's like, oh, like, you know, they're keeping information from you because if you knew it, you wouldn't be able to handle it, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Did you ever see that thing where it was the like alien? Like he did like the interview.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty good,
dude. That is actually one of the freakiest videos I've ever seen. Not because it was like, not because the alien was scary, but it was the fact that I don't know if it even had a gender. It was just because it was this creature that was speaking, and it was so interesting the way they put it together. If I remember, I'll put it in the description, but it's one of the craziest videos. It's up there kind of like with the intellect mentality of what Steven Spielberg said about the alien autopsy that was found online. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. I don't know that I got to see that one though.
Right. Well, I've seen brief glimpses here and there, like parts. More so still images. And all I know was that Steven Spielberg basically said, because they wanted to know, they were like, was this video faked? Because it was just like a found footage film. And Steven Spielberg basically said, if this is fake, whoever did the practical effects for this movie, I'll hire him. He's like, I'll pay him like $2 million or whatever it is, like right now. Like he's like, this is astounding. Flawless. If this is real. So,
and that was like back in like 92.
So, and again, like that's the stuff where like, do I think that Neil Armstrong really said that? I don't know. Maybe. But what I do know is that if we in fact did go to the moon, there were 2 minutes of time that there was nothing that was recorded whatsoever. So what happened in those 2 minutes? Was it a legit, like that very well could have been a moment that Neil was just bouncing around and just being a kid and just enjoying it. And like, you know, there was no care in the world, or something happened.
Looking over left center of stage.
Yeah, like asking for his Doritos or whatever and stuff, and then
can I get my Diet Coke, please?
That's when they're just
like Neil fucking Armstrong.
Wouldn't that be great? Where it's like, you know, hey, like we're gonna give you guys a 2-minute break because we need to make this believable that we lost it. So you can take a break, breathe through your helmet, take it off for a second.
He's like, oh, thank God, smoking is Winston.
Like it's like, get the fan out here. We gotta get that smoke going. There's no smoke in space. Let's go. Come on, everyone. Let's go. Places, everyone. So
places, everybody. You keep talking.
Yep. So number 4 is strange space music. During the Apollo 10 mission, a test run for the first mission to the moon, astronauts, among other things, took testing this is very weird English. I mean, it says India time, so maybe it's been translated, but it says took to testing various equipment. The stakes were high since this was not a simulation but real space. Much to the surprise of these astronauts, they heard a strange sort of whistling on their headphones that they later described as space music. So they were picking up a frequency that was coming through that was whistling and had like a melody to it. So there's not much to that one, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Again, not trying to debunk things, but I mean, as far as like space, I don't know. I guess no, there is no like sound. So there's really no way of, man, maybe they were just hitting a right frequency.
Here's what I do know. On a scientific sense, is that they've said that now this is kind of funny because this is happening right now as we are creating this podcast, is that they said that when they've sent different satellites out into the cosmos and and if it stays in the orbit of Earth, what they have found is that they are still picking up radio frequencies and voices and music and all this other stuff from the 1960s. It's still traveling out into like energy never goes away. It always builds. It always goes.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Here's the thing is that eventually
it'll stop.
It's gotta stop.
Or does it?
Nah, there's got to be a breaking point at some point. There's got to be, even though it's
nuts?
Even though it's infinite, is it? That's my question. Is like, is it? Like, how infinite is infinite?
Here's the crazy thing too, man.
How forever is forever?
They have not figured out what dark matter is. That blackness that you see between all of stars and galaxies and everything, that's something that actually freaks out scientists because they can't study it. It's so far out and so far distant from
reflection. There's no like reflection off of anything.
No, they've basically that's why if you ever see the model for the universe, it's like almost like a giant sphere with like a black like cloud around it. That's the only thing that they can basically figure out what the edge of the universe looks like. Because they said it's like dark matter is so difficult to even describe because it's not even dark matter. It's the expanse of space that we can't see. It never ends. They cannot find an ending to the universe whatsoever because it just keeps going.
Are you getting antsy over there?
No. My finger actually itches.
Oh,
so
I thought you were getting.
Shockingly, no. Now, if we're talking about the ocean, I'm out. I'm not doing it. So no, not going to happen. So number 5. Something shiny on the moon. NASA astronaut Alan Bean claims he saw something shiny on the moon. He described as shoe leather. While you expect space to be black and devoid of light in places, what was this shiny thing he saw? Could it have been glass? Whatever the reason for what he saw, there's not much of an explanation for this one.
Well, hold on. Now, okay, what astronaut was this? Because
Alan Bean. It's just ALAN, and then last name is BEAN, like Mr. Bean. So Alan Bean.
So there was an episode of Big Bang Theory where they were doing this experiment on the top of like the roof, and they had a laser. What they were doing is they had this whole fucking setup. They were nerding out. They had this really powerful like infrared laser beam that could hit the moon.
Oh wow. Is that a because we can kind of a thing?
Because we can, because Howard knew, because of like he built something on the space station, and then he had like our Land Rover, something on like the moon and Mars or something like that. But anyways, they said that like Neil Armstrong or something left like a mirror or something on there. There was a reflective surface.
Okay. Yeah, that could be it.
That they bounced off of the moon and it reflected back to their radar. It's like a real thing you can do.
Interesting.
Because like as far as I know, and they were like ecstatic about it. And the one like dumb boyfriend that Penny had was like, I don't get it. And he's like,
how convenient.
He's like, that proves that man, like at least a human being has stepped foot on the moon.
Yeah. And so it's like, the idea that if any other life was to be on any other planet, would they leave something too?
So That's
cool. I like that.
That's interesting that like now again, if it was before that, I don't know. Like I said, as far as I know, everything in the Big Bang when it comes to science and everything, it's legit. It's true.
I would definitely stick up for that, mainly because a long time ago, good friends of mine that I knew through an earlier church that I used to go to was I'm not going to divulge their name here, but they were just a really, really awesome couple, and they had a couple of kids that we've interacted with, here and there that are like our age, and things like that. But we were sitting in one of our Bible studies, and it was like kind of like before things were getting started, and we were all just chit chatting about things, and the wife basically said, she's like, I actually did some research on the Big Bang Theory. And she said, when you see the whiteboards in the background, she said they are equations that are actually jokes. So if you're smart enough and if you'll
get them.
Like, the show is twice as funny because it's like, no, like me and you, we didn't go to fucking, college for that.
That's just
so we
their
don't know.
work.
Yeah.
That's just their work.
Yeah, shit, I'm hitting the mic again. But no, but I love that. It is.
There's hidden things.
Yeah, it's the idea. Like, I guess it's this is the only thing I can liken it to is I remember watching Law Abiding Citizen with Mike long time ago, and there was a scene that basically happened where our main character Gerard Butler is disguised as a cop. And he's got like a blonde wig on with like a mustache and stuff. And Mike was sitting back kind of like, oh shit, like, how is he going to notice that this is what's happening right now? And I saw this other character get into this cop car, and it was this whole idea that this cop was being held up because he was knocked out from something. And this guy was like, rise and fucking shine or whatever and stuff. And he was like, hitting this guy in the head to wake him up. And I looked at the cop, and I'm just like, that's Gerard Butler. And Mike just looked at me and he went, what? I'm like, that's Gerard Butler. I'm like, he's the main guy of the movie. I'm like, he's clearly the cop. He's faking this. And Mike just looked at me and he went, because I was younger when this movie came out. And he was like, no shit. He's like, you noticed that? And I said, clearly, dude, he has the exact same jawline and nose design of Gerard, but I know what Gerard Butler looks like. I've seen him in like 4 movies. Like, that is very much Gerard Butler. Or as there was a channel on YouTube, it was called 12th of a Dime, and this is the only other joke I can think of I can throw in there with this, but it says when they see Stephen King, who's clearly played by an actor that's not Stephen King, they're like, this is Stephen King. And it's like, no, it's not Stephen King. No, I'm pretty sure that's Stephen King.
I'm pretty sure it is.
He's like, no, Stephen King is not this creepy. To which the guy replies with, well, we'll find. It's either Stephen King or an Ewan McGregor that really let himself go. But so it was just, I was able to see that. So it's like, when you think of that mentality, it's like some people notice that stuff. It's like that. Sometimes it is noticeable for that, but like Mike was blown away by that. He looked at Mom and he's like, Kyle knew exactly who that guy was.
Well,
so it's
we pay attention to that stuff, and that's where like stupid little things like the that being some like part of the episode. Granted, yes, I've seen the season or the series like multiple times,
right?
But that was something that was like always really cool and stuck out with me. So you reading that, like, it immediately made me think of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I said, I don't not believe we haven't ever been on the moon. I don't think we did it when we said we did.
Yeah. See, this is where I would probably take that approach where it's like when somebody brings up the moon landing, when somebody brings up flat Earth, which we'll talk about eventually, like or if somebody brings up Pizzagate, or somebody brings up like all this stuff. I think that there is a very big level of ignorance to not at least consider that some of the possibility.
Entertain the fact.
And so we're not going to go into a big thing about this. I don't want to get into a huge thing, but this is a rhetorical question, is that if you think, are you good? Are you good?
My foot's been really bad lately. Anyways.
So no, I was going to say plow through it. You got this.
Yeah, so I got it.
I was going to say, well, we got about 15 more minutes, so we're going to go through this. So, but we'll plow through it.
Oh no, you're good. It comes and goes.
Well, right. So, so essentially the way that I've said it like this is that you and I had a similar conversation, and you'll know the nature of what I'm pertaining to when I say this is that you have to entertain that things are possible.
Oh,
you have to be able to look at the grand scheme of things of where you are in this thing that we call life and basically look at the big picture of what you believe is possible and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where you open up a lot of doors. That's where you can see like, well, no, it's like, this isn't that outlandish for me for me to believe.
Right.
Because I've already acknowledged that these things are real, or that these things could be real. So it basically, like all of that being said, like it follows that kind of mentality where it's like, it's the idea that if you have already acknowledged that, nuclear fusion is real, like nuclear fusion is something that is ridiculous. Like when you look at the idea of the chemical, like composites that have to happen like that, all the rules that have to happen, like, all the explosions and all the things that have to happen with that, like fucking the lead guitarist for Queen took so many years out of that to understand what happened with nuclear fission and became a nuclear physicist.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just there.
I do remember. Yeah, I do recall it. That's funny.
I was actually in high school when that happened. And our choir, Miss Mitchell, our choir teacher, she was like, "Oh my God!" She was like, "Did you guys see this?" And she pulled it up on like her phone or her laptop she had, and she's like, he got his degree today, like he passed, like and he's brilliant, by the way. He's a genius, like he's such a.
We were actually sorry not to get too far off topic. Mm-hmm. We were just actually talking about.
I totally forgot where I was going with all of that because I just kept going down a trail. But regardless, so
yeah, about how smart people are as far as
Big Bang Theory. That's what we were talking about.
Big Bang.
But yeah,
no, 2 Chainz is like uber smart, and people think he's because he makes such simple music, but he's smart and knows what the industry wants. Like he was like an incredibly intelligent, like
right,
considered like a genius, like graduated summa cum laude and shit like that from his college, and like that's pretty awesome. But anyways, I don't know where we were going on with that, but
it's the whole
that
mentality.
was another dumb fact that I had.
No, it's to me it's all relevant. It's the idea that it's like you like going on the 2 Chainz thing is that it's the mentality of you were talking about like he writes dumb lyrics, quote unquote, because it's something that you can understand it. He knows that it will sell.
Right.
Whereas somebody that writes very, very intelligent lyrics that you have to think about and you have to chew on, less people are going to dig that. And what I had said earlier was I was talking about the idea before we had started podcasting was the mentality of Tool. Like Tool is a band that they wrote, and like Schism is all about the Fibonacci sequence of math numbers, and they made it awesome.
Yeah.
So it's that whole idea. Like
that's why I said
2 Chainz is a genius. It's just that he knows how to write music.
Yeah, and that's why I said I found it odd that Eminem is still relevant with how in depth his music, like his writing is, but
and how good his video production is, by the way. Like he's like the falling in reverse version of like artists that have coming out, like because not in his video, not the music style. Like it's he's just done some crazy.
His videos are pretty awesome.
I'm about to kick that over because I was going to stretch my legs out. So
let's get out of this rabbit hole that we just went into weirdly with Big Bang and specs and mirrors on the moon.
I don't even remember where
lasers and bouncing off and dumb boyfriends and yeah.
Hey, look, there's a differently shaped UFO. This says when we think of UFOs, we think disc shaped.
Right.
Flying saucers.
Everybody thinks that.
Wrong. Anything beyond our understanding is pretty much difficult to explain, as astronauts James Dickford and Ed White came to realize. This happened when they were flying over Hawaii. They noticed a flying object that to them didn't seem like something from Earth. but this metallic object seemed to have arms sticking out of its body. What was this object and why did it have arms? Well, hopefully we will not know soon enough.
They didn't chase it?
Don't think that they were able to, because if this is...
I'd have found a way.
If the... Actually, there was...
Arms coming out of the...
Yeah.
So that means that spaceship could have fought you, dude.
Yeah. This is... I can't remember if we talked about this on the podcast, but there was a... I know you, me, and Devin talked about it, which Devin's going to be on the podcast eventually. We're definitely going to get him involved because that could be a lot of fun. So, it's all three brothers on one podcast. That would be catastrophic. So, but the world will implode on itself because not that much awesomeness should exist in one area.
We should all wear a shirt.
All of us, the favorite.
But I'll be in front further.
So, I'll kick you in the gooch too. I don't give a shit. So, what was I saying? I thought about violence and I got lost. So,
not gonna lie, completely left me.
I know we were talking about Devin.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be on the podcast.
Yes.
Three brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Tool.
No. Was that it? No. Anyway, so. Oh my God. This is what happens down here. This is the other thing about the man cave. This is what I want you guys to understand is that you are going to basically experience our conversations down here. This is just stuff that like I have picked things that we're just going to talk about.
This has nothing to do with beer. Like
this is
what fucking happens in real life.
The sad part. Yeah,
that was not on purpose.
There's nothing about beer. But actually, okay, so moving on. 7 floating animal corpses. Sorry, wow, not 7 animal floating corpses. Jesus Christ. 7. Number 7 is floating animal corpses. There were 7 floating animal corpses.
That was specific.
So this says, this one will make sense considering that the first test subjects to make it to space were a monkey and a dog.
They just left them there.
Motherfucker.
One-way trips both times.
If anybody were to ever take Thor or Willow to space without my consent and leave their asses there,
I may have yelled at him earlier, but I don't not love him.
He's my cuddle buddy. I love him so much. He's so great. This is also what I love with this setup because that you can see him just laying out
everywhere still. Yeah.
This is honestly what the pit bulls do down here. Like they just like whenever they chill with us, like they're just like
no.
Like,
murder dogs. Remember?
Sorry, yeah, that's right. They're murder dogs. Yes, yeah.
Murder dogs.
So horrible. Look at him. He's so mean.
So mean that my daughter feeds him popcorn.
Which that exists. That's a thing.
And he will wait patiently. I mean, like
she don't even have to say sit. He just knows.
She does that now.
Oh, she does?
She does that with her finger. Shit. I think she might be saying shit, maybe. But
it's funny. Oh man,
we'll go with it. But yeah,
okay. So
the murder dog, he's safely tucked away in the corner of the couch.
It's perfectly fine.
He's fine.
So they said that they've sent to space a monkey and a dog, and it says, and when a seemingly good thing turned into a failure, these animal corpses were launched into space, where they reportedly float to this day, and can be seen by astronauts making trips to space. While it's sad, the scene can seem a bit creepy too. Just imagine animal corpses floating around against the backdrop of a black and infinite space, and you have to just go on and do what you can do. Or sorry, do what you came to.
Well, that's weird. So it probably gets stuck in like the same orbit then.
So you may be like in the dead dog of space. Like it's like the idea of like,
right.
or the orbit of the Earth.
Yeah.
Rather. So, which I know it's really weird to say, but
because like if you think about it, if that's the case, before they get like, it's not like they're like near a black hole or anything.
No.
So I'll bet you then it probably gets stuck in like a similar orbit, kind of like the Earth does. Well, so then if you're there at the right time, now I get what they're saying. That is sad, but it's also, I hate to say it, it's also like historical at the same time. Like, you know, maybe I know not maybe like salute, but like you pay your respects to it because
it's because from what
it
this
did
said,
do things.
That space did not
sucks.
kill them. Their bodies were ejected into space after death. That's what I read. So it's like that was that's I think was that it?
No, there was real legit. No.
Okay.
No,
well,
there was
see.
a legit monkey and dog. The dog maybe.
Whoa, what the hell is happening? There we go. Sorry, my
Malfunction.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We're learning about space. We're like, shut it down. The space snakes were like, they're on to us.
That's like whenever you see the thing where it says like it'll ask a very simple question on Facebook of like posting a status, and then the FBI will then respond and say, delete this shit right now. So floating animal corpses. All right, no. So they were just failures. I thought for some reason when I read that it said that it sent them out, but
Yeah,
mind.
no,
So-
but that's really sad, but also kind of historical at the same time. So
all right, we got 11. This is 8, so we're almost done. So we'll go ahead and get through this. So,
plow through it.
So all right, number 8. Scott Kelly spots a UFO.
Bet he didn't.
You've probably seen a lot of stories detailing astronaut Scott Kelly's arduous journey as he got ready to spend a long time on the International Space Station. He went on to become an astronaut who spent the most hours there. But that's not the only thing that makes his history stand out. Kelly has said things that suggested a big brush with aliens. While he's not said so himself in so many words, his jokes seemed less like jokes and more like something for all of humanity to consider. Like the time that he mentioned in an interview, he spoke about aliens having it easier in space than we do.
Okay, well then, again, you get stirred. It said he was the longest motherfucker in space station.
He spent so many hours up there. Yeah.
But that's a weird thing to say.
This is kind of like
They got it easier. He didn't like specify. He was just like, yeah, man, get it way easier than us.
Yeah.
They have the advantage because this is their world. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm looking over it because there is a space. But
If you're listening on Spotify, we got space going on the TV.
yeah,
right
here
now,
he's
so, yeah,
come
so
over me a
here's-
YouTubey.
Yep.
Be lame like mom.
No, she's a viewee. She's a viewee.
God damn it! I even fucked up my own like terms.
Viewee? No, so it's Heary, Viewee,
YouTubey, nosies.
Nosy, and then Nosy. Yeah, so
Yeah. I have to write this down.
it's gonna be a legit thing. It's like become a nosy today.
That'll be our new merch.
Are
you a nosy?
It'll be nosy, like a nose with a finger up it.
Or are you a heary?
So
You know what we look like. Surprise, motherfucker.
all rise, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wrong size, motherfucker.
Hard eyes, motherfucker.
Rude eyes, motherfucker.
Oh, God. And we got to move on because we'll go all day.
Number 9. What kills me is the hard eyes. It's oh my God, Vine was so great when it was around. Surprise, motherfucker!
I love Dexter though.
Oh, it was great. Just that guy was just. I was so happy when he was done. So okay, number 9, the fleet of UFOs. Now, fleet is quotation. The fleet of UFOs. What's worse than spotting one UFO? A fleet of UFOs. There's just something about the scene that doesn't exactly lend it an aura of complete innocence. Astronaut Gordon Cooper, the astronaut who flew both both the Mercury 9 and the Gemini 5, claims to have seen an entire fleet, quote unquote, of UFOs around the time he flew for the Air Force. Unknown to him, 10 years later, he chanced upon a similar scene. Reportedly, in 1963, when one such object flew towards him, it was picked up on the radar, to which answers any questions about proof of its existence. So this is a real footage of his cockpit of what was happening, or of the radar or whatever was
Did they
there.
say what year this was?
It's in 1963. So
1963.
So when did Roswell happen? Actually, hold on, let's find out. So what were the
You
events?
can do that now.
So yeah, we designed this to be able to find this out. So Roswell, let's see.
Become more nosies so we can have more cool stuff.
Date.
Just kidding. You don't have to like.
Oh, let's
just
see.
click. And apparently hit like.
Shit.
Hit like. Remember that? Hit the like button. Have you forgot about hitting the like button? See, he's doing stuff, so I'm just trying to like make it cool right now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Now let this. We got Dawson. We got Dawson here. See, no one cares. Nice hat. Love Jurassic Park. What always kills me is the fact that he takes the shaving cream and then puts it on a piece of pie and just leaves it. And it, oh my God, I'm like, he's such a dick. That's why I don't care that he gets killed and eaten by a fucking
Newman.
Newman. I can't remember the dinosaur, but what kills him. But yeah.
No, because he's always a douchebag and stuff.
God. And here's the thing: we never know why Newman and Seinfeld have issues. We just know that that Newman.
No, I thought they did give an We're going off.
Newman worked at the post office.
But that's all we knew.
That's all we know.
So, we're gonna come back to that. But yeah.
All right. So the Roswell UFO incident is in popular lore refers to the rumors and speculation regarding a early 1947 United States Army Air Force's balloon crash at a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. Following local press interest in debris gathered from the crash site and rumors that the debris came from a flying disc, the U.S. military stated that the crashed object was merely a conventional weather balloon. The interest subsequently waned until the 1970s when ufologists began promoting a variety of increasingly elaborate conspiracy theories, claiming that one or more alien spacecraft had crash landed and that the extraterrestrial occupants had been recovered by the military, which then engaged in a cover-up.
Okay.
In the 1990s, the U.S. military published 2 reports disclosing the true nature of the crashed object, a nuclear test surveillance balloon from the Project Mogul. Nevertheless, the Roswell incident continues to be an interest in popular media. The conspiracy theories surrounding the event persist. Roswell has been described as the world's most famous, most exhaustively investigated, and most thoroughly debunked UFO claim.
Wow.
So essentially what this is saying is that, I mean, Roswell is it when it comes to aliens. That's what we know as. So that was in the 1940s. So what this is saying is that reportedly in 1963, this guy in the Air Force was doing his thing in the air and saw a fleet of UFOs and reported it. And like, there are tons of Air Force people that have, I don't know if that's the proper like terminology, but it's like that have been to the outskirts of our atmosphere and have seen some weird shit.
I was about to say, I've seen other like footage of that.
Yeah. And they straight up revealed that aliens are real. There was an Israeli scientist that was just like, oh, aliens are 100% real. So it's like,
but here's the thing is, what do you consider an alien? And that's where like we can get into this whole thing is that technically anything other than a American made airplane and rocket that an astronaut from the United States sees is considered a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object.
It does not mean alien. It just means it's something we don't know.
You don't know what you don't know what it is.
It could be Russian. It could be North Korean. It could be anything.
So the word UFO does not mean alien.
Right.
Like that's where everybody's like, everybody's butt puckers real quick, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and it's because I mean, we grew up with X-Files, where like it shows like the close up of like the thing where it's like that's a lot of what people like refer to is that they think UFO, they think alien, but they
think
it's not.
The saucer, they think the green man, they think no, that does not classify as just strictly a UFO. So that's the thing is that sometimes what you say and what you mean are 2 different things when it comes to things like that, because that is a legit term, but that doesn't mean that.
Well, especially because it's just like, it's like there's been times that people have either said that from what they've reported, they've seen angels or they've seen things in the sky or like, whether or not they were schizophrenic or really saw this like a body like flying with like wings flapping or all that stuff.
We'll have to get my friend Katie on here. She's the one survivor from Creston.
I would be very interested to see what she has to say. So if she's willing to share it, I'd be about it. So
that's a pretty intense conversation, but yes.
But so this basically says they have fleet of UFOs. That's terrifying. It's like, it's something that, 'cause again, I'm always going to be worried for my safety in that aspect where it's like I'm in an area that or a plane of existence I'm not used to. And it's like there is other objects out here that are moving just as fast as I am. And I know for a fact I'm armed with artillery. So it's like, it's that idea of that what else is out here has artillery as well.
Yeah, you're armed with it. So what are they armed with if there is?
Yeah, and it's that idea. It's like, are we even going to be able to do anything?
I think I've said this multiple times on other podcasts, but I forget who it was. It was a famous person that said, they were asked the question, if you think we're alone in this universe, and they said that both answers are equally terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let's make sure we quote that properly, because you and I both looked up who it was, and it's so simple.
It was like it was like Thomas Edison or something stupid like that.
Either we are alone. It's funny. I typed in either we are Arthur C. Clarke. That's who it is. There are two possibilities exist. That's his whole quote. Wait, I want to make sure I read this properly. Oh, wow, there's even a picture of him. Look at that. So that's what he looked like.
Genius.
Arthur C. Clarke. It says, this is from goodreads.com. It's some of the quotes from him, and this is his most famous one. It says, two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in this universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying.
Yes, dude.
No matter what you believe, whether or not it's aliens, God, if it's not, like if there's nothing after death and if there's nothing out there, then yeah. It's horrible. We are alone in this universe, but if there is something,
that's still scary as fuck.
We don't understand it.
We ain't never seen it, at least not us. All right, what
number 10?
I would say, what number are we on?
Number 10. We got one more left after this. The UFO shaped like a cylinder. Coming back to our idea of what a UFO should look like, no one expects it to look like a cylinder. In 1991, cosmonaut Musa Manarov apparently caught this cylindrical. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
a cylindrical UFO on film. The shiny object seems to be swiveling and making its way across space. Watch the video and decide for yourself what the object could be.
So space snake again?
So let's see here. Let's see if it'll let us watch it. Video is unavailable.
Fucking Biden. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Obama. No, I don't give a shit who's president.
I don't either.
I'm just like, God.
You're both fucking idiots.
Okay.
Number 11.
Next up, number 11, strange lights. American astronaut Leroy Chiot, commander of the International Space Station in 2005, along with his crew, saw a set of strange lights in space. Sorry if I butchered your name, Chiot. Chiot described the formation as an upside-down, almost V. The crew and Chiot chanced upon the formation after it flew past them. While conspiracy theorists might be all too eager to smell the BS here, some of the material related to these things spotted in space is out there for anyone to interpret. While there's not much in the name of hardcore proof yet, these snippets from space history do make us wonder what really is out there.
Bro, you know the story about me and Jake on the trampoline, right?
Okay, this is really interesting that you bring this up because I want to tell you about this. This is really cool. So, okay. Many, many moons ago, I remember you, me, Mom, and I want to say we were at Tresilia's place. I'm pretty sure we were. And if we were standing out in the field that she lived at with this like huge expanse that was above us and everything. And essentially what it was that that you guys were not describing anything that happened there. But what you were describing was that you said that there was these lights that was seen by either you or your friends or whatever, or it was the group of you that they were like creating patterns and like doing these crazy things.
That was me and Jake.
Okay. Now what's insane was the week after I heard that, there was a special on Discovery about how a guy swears up and down that while he was walking home, an alien in a cloak came down from the sky and tried to take his ass out.
Was it near Ohio?
Don't know where it was at, but it was like it was really, really weird. So it was because it was like the same week I heard you guys talk about that. I saw this on Discovery. Like now they were not connected. Neither of the same things happened, but it was really weird.
When you were reading that, it just made me think of something. I know we're getting close, not only on my camera, but like just in time in general.
Oh, you're good, Ben.
But
You're fine.
The pattern that you were kind of talking about, the pattern that we saw. Okay, I'm going to be very brief. One night, me and one of my best friends, we were out behind his house before him and his now stepdad had a house behind it. He went through like a wheat field, all this stuff. We kind of lived out like in the boonies. I lived with them for a while. His land that he was on, that Rick was on, had like, it was big. It was like kind of farmland.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember their place. It was really nice.
And so like they had the big trampoline. Well, all right. So me and Jake, we were laying down one night. We were jumping around. We were dicking off. We're like 17, 18 years old. We laid down and we look up because we're getting ready to smoke a cigarette real quick and then walk back to the house, probably get drunk, right?
Right.
Like we're just dumb kids. It was summertime.
Mm-hmm.
And we look up. Dead black sky. Dead black sky.
No stars whatsoever.
Not really. Which is weird because we were out in the boonies.
That should have been rampant with the Milky Way and everything else you could see.
But I think because of what we were seeing, it like blurred it out. Bro, I'm telling you.
Possibly. Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, these 3 bright lights came down in a triangle pattern, but they were given that like big halo, like fume off of it.
Mm-hmm. Almost like, is it like the nebula shit that you would see here? Or is it
no, dude, it was like intense, but you could still look at it.
Okay.
And dude, we saw it in enough time to like look at it in amazement and then respond to one another next to each other. You gotta think we're laying like this,
smoking cigarettes, looking up. And
I'm like,
yeah,
are you seeing this? He was like, the fucking UFO? And dude, it started spinning in a circle, all 3. And then they went, whoo, boom, in a straight 3-dot line. Gone. He tried to get his mom and like future stepdad, like, cause it was his place. Like where he was like, Mom, Rick, and it was gone. We looked like idiots.
Right.
He saw the same thing I did.
Yeah.
So the pattern thing, that's where I get so torn with if there is or isn't aliens. I didn't want to necessarily get into this like at the end because I know this could be like a big thing. But
no, you're good, man.
But
this goes as long as it needs to. If these cameras shut off, they shut off. I don't give a shit. Keep talking.
But the thing is that we saw the same thing. We weren't fucked up. We weren't high. We weren't drunk. We weren't nothing.
You were about to get drunk.
We were about to get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
We were just on a bullshit ass, like we were over there for a minute doing something, jumping on the trampoline, back flipping. Now we need a cigarette. Ha ha ha. It's a nice clear night. Here's the stars.
Right.
Because they lived out in the middle of nowhere. For fuck's sake, we had to cross a wheat field between back houses. Like that's where we were.
Yeah, it's honestly
it's dark. There was no stars.
I very much I remember that place, and now while I never ventured, I do remember where it was at. Like it's like not even. This is gonna sound weird, but it's like not even like truly where it's at, but like the surroundings. I have a very good guess as to where it is from where we live. So
that's where, like with you knowing that, that's where it made it really interesting in the fact of we saw the same thing.
Yeah.
We were interacting and it was so weird. Nobody else was around us. We're talking his little brother, his son that was the same age, his mom, like I said, his now stepdad, like there was several people that were with us that were in the fucking garage, big garage where we did our side jobs with him because he restored classic cars. That's how we knew him. That's what we did. We did side work.
Right.
And he was right behind the house. They were all in the, it was like, it was for us almost.
Right.
Nobody else could see it. And then it it almost like fucked with us. It showed us like it's, I don't want to say true form, but like it came down in this like triangle thing. And then it sat there and then it went, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gone. We saw it for about 10 seconds. Like it was a good amount of time. At least we thought. Like I don't know. It could have been, who knows? It could have been 2 hours.
You wouldn't know.
Fuck, I don't know. Maybe they had the fucking flashy thing from Men in Black. Like
this is also where the mentality of being lost in the anomaly. Like it's the whole, whole perspective of that you are experiencing something that you should not be experiencing. And what I mean by that is because
the same thing.
And what it is I don't mean by that moralistically you should not be experiencing it, but more so that your brain cannot comprehend what is happening. So the information that's being fed to it could be astronomically small or astronomically long. This is where people that like experience car crashes, when they're in one, like when they flip or when they do things, or like when, they get T-boned or anything like that, is that they're like, dude, they're like, it felt like it lasted forever.
Yeah.
Because your brain, now it didn't.
But right. It was instant.
Your brain doesn't know how to comprehend shock.
And it breaks it down.
This is why people go insane with certain things. It's like everybody's brain is different. So it's like when you experience that stuff, there's a different aspect of how everyone else's brain is going to process it. I've had friends of mine who have talked about people that they know that like the moment that, like I've met people that are crazy. I've met people that are legitimately medically and psychologically crazy.
Right.
Now everybody would look at that and think of that in the mentality of like, oh my God, they were in a straitjacket. Like, no, like they're walking around like everybody else. It's like, I've met people that have done that. It's like, it's a matter
they're just clinically crazy.
Right.
One of my best buddies. I mean, we don't hang on with Filbert. It's not his real name. Phil is his real name, but Filbert, but he's crazy.
Right.
He's crazy. Great guy.
I love him so
Phil.
much, dude. He is the best dude ever.
So gentle. But yeah, no, I get what you mean.
I actually know what was funny was that he showed up to the house when we lived on the hill.
Slouching.
I love Phil so much. He showed up to the house one time. I think he was waiting for you to come home from work.
Yeah.
And I came upstairs because I was in the basement. I was editing, shocker. I was doing something video and
nerd.
And Mom was like, hey, she's like, it's like, just so you know, we got company. I was like, oh shit. Okay. So like I came upstairs and Phil was sitting on the couch and he was just, sitting with his, his legs crossed or like mine are like right now, just like doing his thing, had his hand on it. And he was talking with Mom and just doing his thing. And I was like, hey man, I'm like, you want to burn a cigarette real quick? He was like, yeah, something good.
Yeah.
So, but he had done, it was like a few weeks after he had done a really cool zombie film with Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where like, he was telling me about all the cool like gore effects that they did with it. And like, he got to have makeup on and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome, man. I loved it. So
yeah. Phil's good people, but yes,
because
real crazy people are still just
people. It's like, but it's not crazy in the conventional sense of like, it's like how somebody like how Titus referred to the word retard. It's like, it's not that. It's like, there are people, it's like if you have, anything going on medically that you just either require medication for or whatever, it's like, it's like people can classify you as crazy, but it's like, no, it's like, dude, it's like, you just, instead of you being sick mentally, it's like you're just sick mentally, bro. It's like or physically, you're just sick mentally.
It's vice versa. So, it doesn't matter.
But no, it's so like when it comes to that, like I've met people that have been down that road and have experienced that. And it's like when your brain doesn't understand what is happening to you, because we are conditioned to experience what we experience every day, and when that is ripped away from us, it's like that whole idea of that some people can handle it, some people can't. So with this, all that being said, with you guys experiencing this thing on this trampoline, you very well probably experienced something that was extraterrestrial. Now
we had to have.
It's and very much I like it. And I think what we'll end on is that there was one night that Eric and I were down here, and because I know the camera's off right now, but it's just like anyone that's listening or is watching it, but it's like
mine's apparently still on. Sorry if I keep looking at the camera. So it's the blinking light, and I keep looking to see if it's still blinking.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, so this is the part that we get deep into the podcast. So it's like if we'll transition to a picture. This is no different. I mean, Deep Fat Fry does this whenever they want to, so I don't give a shit if we do it. So. This is why I just allow the conversation to continue, and to let do
mine just went off.
Hey, there we go. Sorry. So if you've made it into the picture form, we are officially in the picture form of the podcast.
Mom loves me more. Mine stayed on longer, so now I can just be a retard and not. Oh, see.
This is why. Like whenever this happens, if we are in deep conversation, this is the picture portion.
No, I said the R word on accident.
Which one?
I'm not saying it again.
Okay, so I didn't even notice it.
Right. That's where people are gonna comment and be like, "You racist." No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Anyways, deep in the podcast, we're gonna end on what?
Well, now you got me all thrown off. I can't remember what that
I don't know. Let's just, you know what? Space. The final frontier.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise to seek new life. I can't remember the rest of it. So. I remember always growing up with that. That was cool. The Star Trek, the next
your
generation.
Father.
So hell yeah, dude.
Your Faja.
Faja. Austin Powers Faja. the Faja. So, well, hey, if what I was originally going to talk about was important, then I'll bring it up in another podcast. But until then, we hope you guys have enjoyed this. So if you have, please, without a doubt, subscribe, like, comment. Consider being a patron if you enjoy what you've seen and you want to see the show improve. And we thank you guys so much for sticking it out this long. If you have, Mom, we know for a fact you're watching. No matter when this is, we know you've made it to the end here, so we love you. We hope that everything's going well.
Are you trying to suck up to get the newest shirt? Like, what are you doing?
No, she already got me a guitar pick that glows. I'm fine. So, with that being said...
Yeah, she got me a No Life Shack hoodie, so fuck off.
She did get you a No Life Shack hoodie. I love that thing. That's awesome.
That's tough.
That's tough. I love it. Yeah. Oh, man, why you playing, man? Why you playing? No, man, why you
subscribe to No Life Shack. I don't give a fuck if you don't like him. Just hit subscribe and like all of his videos.
Why you yelling at me?
No, I was still looking at the camera too, like it was.
Oh no, I was quoting No Life Shack, so that was.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad.
So, so either way, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. We will talk to you guys another time. Kyle and Eric out.
Peace, bitches.